So, why does it matter to get your label correct for your product? So, today I want to share just a little short story on and some lessons on making a label for a physical product. And one of the things that I'm working on is to I have a coffee company and we make amazing small batch coffee. Like we go through lots of different greens from different regions. We test it at different temperatures, really to find the best uh, beans that we can use. But more importantly, because everybody says that, is we toast it or cook it at different temperatures to see what's the best for that specific bag from that specific farmer. And where this adventure has taken me is to create bottled coffee, which has been super fun. Never thought I'd get to here, and we're experimenting. What I love about having a bottled product is it allows me, one, to work with the local coffee shops, the physical shops. I don't have one yet, and we can offer a product that they don't, meaning that I can work with them, we can partner, we can do lots of great things together where there's no real threat of someone losing business or not being able to make rent because I was selling a product competitively against them. So and I think the other side is I'm able to bring a specific profile and really a delicious beverage into places where maybe they don't have the capacity or capability to make that type of coffee or that type of experience. So that's really why I have bottles. And what I've been able to do so far is have had a pop up by the Chattahoochee River. We have had our bottles delivered to like ice cream shops and breakfast places. And the idea there is to have the bottle sitting in a refrigerator. So you walk in, you can see the orange juices, you got all the fancy juices, but then we have coffee, right? And they don't make cold brew. We have a latte also. And I want it to jump out at the person. So when you walk in, right, if you're in a breakfast place and you may not want a hot coffee, you might want a bottled coffee. So we have cold brew. I want you to be able to see it. So that way, when you're ordering, we might not be on the menu yet because we're brand new, but at least we're thinking about cold brew or a latte. And what that means then is I want to create a label that jumps out at you. I want it to be clean. I want it to catch the key words that you're going to see. And so the colors we went through is we have black, right? And this is actually a different shirt. This is Happiness from D Rock. But I wanted to have a bright orange color with black as my base and with NBK, so natural born coffee with a K. And worked with lots of fun designers. I sketched a few out, kind of gave a vision of where I thought it could go, and put all the writing down. And so that's tip number one. If you're working with designers, be sure that you write the copy and the intent and the audience and what you're trying to get people to resonate with your product. Designers are amazing. Digital, physical product designers, websites, designers and engineers are absolutely incredible. They can make magical things. But if you don't give them the insights to your customer, then they're just going to create something that maybe is something that they've seen. They're not going to have the right copy. They're not going to have the right data points. So for us, I gave the insights that we want to have a bright, clear title of what the product is. And then I want to be able to be catchy from afar, but I want clean lines so that I stand out in a refrigerator. The customer for me, for my oat latte, is going to be someone that wants a more of a fun drink, a sweet drink. We hand make everything on the syrups. And so this one is a vanilla. We had a vanilla anise one. We have a vanilla clove one right now. And they're all, homemade. But they're a little sweet, right? So if you wanted if you went to a coffee shop and you wanted a fun drink or a nice drink or not a heavy coffee drink, then you would go with a latte, vanilla latte, or in our case, an oat joy latte. And the joy is very important because that's another principle that I wrote in the abstract for the designers to think about is I want to inspire things in our beverages, in the community that we build, the ones that we've built before, that I have built before. So that's a core value to my business in my venture here is I want to inspire goodness. I want people to grab a beverage and I want them to be with friends and family. I want them to, even just by themselves, just to be like, right? I want you to look at your beverage and be like, this is awesome. This was for me, and I'm a little better. I'm a little reset. I'm recharged. I'm ready to tackle the next thing in my life, whether it is a father going to get his daughter and work with carpool and help with homework, or is it a mom with a toddler and just needs a half second, or you're a teenager and or in your mid 20s and 30s and you're just it's a moment. This is your moment, right? To clear your mind, bring down the voices, have a little clarity, a little focus, even if the focus is on coffee, right? We leaping here for a second. When we think about mindfulness, we always talk about breath work and cold plunges and these things that bring true neurological benefits, but they also bring focus, clarity, just clears the mind of everything. All your worries, everything that you were thinking about, all the to-do lists are gone. And that's what NBK coffee brings, meaning that I want you to be able to have that pause, that moment of looking at the label and then thinking about the farmers, thinking about joy and actually experiencing it, both physically and mentally. Because if you clear your mind for even just 20 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, you really do gain benefits. It's where creativity pops. It's where gratitude breaks free, where you're grateful for what you have in your life, in your moment. And so that's a key mission of what I'm bringing in what I build. But that was also a key tenet in the messaging. I mean, I wanted the label to convey this intent because it gives permission for the consumer, right, who's going to buy it. And so I worked with some designers, and each one iteratively created something different, which is pretty funny. Like I made one, I was kind of happy with it, but it was definitely not amazing. That's why I didn't print it. And then another designer came by and she's like, "You mind if I?" And I was like, "By all means, please, by all means, go edit this." And she did. And when she was done, and again, it was a slap shot kind of work, right? Like she was working on my laptop real quick on a countertop. Then another designer walks by and is like, can you send that to me? Which is code for I'm changing everything. And, as I said, I love designers. That's the energy that I'm looking for. I love working with people like that. And it really just shows, what people can do if they're passionate. So I gave her the design and she came back. And first thing the designer came back was this one right here. Let's see if we can hold it up. Right. I actually made it white because my printer would explode if I had it printed. But then imagine all this is black. Oh, there we go. All this is black. We got the nice logo, Oat Joy Latte. And so originally I was shipping them with this, right? So just real basic, my classic vertical standard, square sticker. I was using it for other things, but we have bottles now, so it goes on bottles. And I took this and I put it on here, and I was like, that is awfully tiny, right? I love it, but you also will notice if you look at it real carefully when you're making a brand, your bottles and what you think about this, your labels, think about this, is I'm not using the full real estate, right? Like I'm more in, and I'm not as wide as I could be, right? And so from afar, the font is great. It's very readable, but it's too tiny. And so what I did is I printed another one, and I basically, I want to say doubled it, tripled it. I really made it bigger. So let's see here if I can get it. I have the microphone sitting on it. So in this one's got a little iterations on it. So we're going to skip ahead to the end. So in this one, you can see, and we put it back on. Now I feel you can look at it and you can see NBK, natural born coffee, also written down here. You've got the oat joy latte looking very good. And it pops, right? It's nice and big. You could probably see it from afar. And the key words is oat and latte, right? Everybody's going to recognize that. And the word joy will probably catch other people too. So I thought she did a nice job in the layout. And then on the sides, where you can see the Sharpie marker. First off, we got expiration date because they are perishable, right? We do this food. On the side down here, and by the way, we make this all at a USDA facility. But down here, if you rotate it, now I've got all the flavor sweeteners that I might put in the bottle. And this was a key thing for me because I wanted to be able to print a couple hundred of these. Because if you print 50 of them, they're like $80. That's a very expensive sticker. That costs more than my bottle, right? That's a lot of extra fixed cost. But if I print a couple hundred, then they're kind of like 30 cents. So that's why we're going to go with a bottle. And we're going to use a Sharpie to circle the flavor that's in it. And then right here it says expiration. I've changed that in the new version. And I changed that to the beans because we're not just shipping a coffee with the same beans every week. We roast Ethiopia, Costa Rica, Guatemala beans, really incredible beans from high altitude and natural. And we bag them and we roast them in our espressos and we ship them in our bags. But when we do the cold brew, it gets what wasn't shipped, right? Or what wasn't put into the shops. And so that doesn't make it a second class. It just means that I'm not brewing 150 pounds of beans for cold brew, right? We have what you get from the great coffee bags that we're selling and you're getting in your espressos, we're also putting in the cold brew. So it's a nice balance. And some beans are better for cold brew and lattes, and some beans are better for espresso. And we definitely use those single origins for that purpose. But when you're thinking about your labels, one, make sure it's eye-catching. It embeds your brand or the feel that you're trying to convey to the customer. I like to make them multi-use. I want them to be done in a way so that I can reuse it and I don't have lots of waste. I'm trying to order a lot of stickers and trying to find a great price for it. So there's Sticker Mule, there's Wizard Label, there's several that you could do. And you also can just do it at your house. And I wouldn't be shy to do that in the beginning. You can see though, so this is on paper. You can see that the water, the sweating of the bottle, because it is a chilled beverage, is starting to kind of get to the paper a little bit. And so my thermal print version and my home print version did not look good, right? It didn't last because in the refrigerator when it comes out, this starts to smear and then I'm going to get it on my customers' hands, right? I don't want that. I want my customers from the beginning, they open it till the end when they're done, when they don't look at the whole label and they're like, wow, made in Roswell, that's awesome. Natural coffee with a K, that's cool. I want the whole experience from beginning to end to be great. So this is what you should do for your bottling. Embrace your designers. Be clear on what they should embody in your brand, in your materials, in your copy, right? Like I write my own copy. They edit it 100%. They're in charge of fonts. They're in charge of placement. They're in charge of that. But the content is my responsibility. You as the founder, your business, your charity, your mission, like you need to own that. That doesn't mean I don't and we don't accept edits and feedback. And I'm of course sharing this to like a dozen people and every version of this because I want their input. I want to hear, well, what do you see? What do you see? And it's important to ask that. And then look for the human reactions, right? Like literally put it out there and see if somebody jumps on it. If they're like, what is that? Like I don't understand what that means. Like, okay, well that's a problem. We need to figure that out. So it's important to think about the lessons here is that one, make stickers reusable. Make a good enough sticker so that it can withstand the different uses, right? We don't want it to peel off your products. And you want to really think about how this as part of your brand and as part of your product betters your customer experience, right? Like you don't want to spend money on something that's not going to make it better for the customer. Yes, we need a label so that people know what's inside it. We need a label so that people can maybe be attracted to it. But we also want a label that gives them value, that raises their opinion of your product, right? If I did not say that these were fresh roasted in Roswell, from Costa Rica, and from a high altitude, and the syrups and everything was made by hand, you would think it's just a cold brew. You might leap and say, "Oh, it's just a latte." It's not just a latte, right? We've spent many hours perfecting the recipe, the ratios of coffee to the oat milk to how much sweet to bring into the bottle, balancing out the flavors and the essence of what we're putting in, from the vanilla and the just the caramel and the chocolate and whatever that bottle has. Right? It's never a one and done. I think we made 3 syrups to get to the one we like at this moment. So don't be shy about asking for feedback. Identify where people are resonating and answer their questions. Right? Remember, we want a label that conveys exactly what we want them to know so that they can both purchase and enjoy the product. So hope this helps. Little insight into what I'm working on the business side of on the bottling of coffee for Natural Born Coffee, and I'm excited to share a community garden, which is a new project that we're working on right now. We have a greenhouse being cleared out, and assuming everything goes well with the team and the owners, then we'll be able to start an initiative there and be excited to share that journey there. If you are trying to do some nonprofit or bring independence of food and knowledge of food and just kind of the organic concepts to maybe kids with behaviors and autistic and kids dealing with challenge, this will be interesting for you to hear about, and certainly welcome any questions and thoughts. So hope this is helpful, and hope you have an amazing day.